Hey there! So we're gonna run through a quick 30-minute class today. I'm gonna show you what props you need and then we're just gonna get started. So I want you to grab a couple pairs of weights. We're gonna want like a little bit lighter pair. I think fives are a really good place to start. You can always start lower, higher. And then we're gonna need one heavy weight. You don't have to have a set, you just need one. So go ahead and grab that, whatever weight you've got available. And then of course, we've got our core ball, this guy right here. We're gonna use this a little bit later into class, so have it close by. As always, you can do whatever props you'd like. So if you want like some blocks, a strap, foam roller might be really nice to start us out. I'm gonna go through a little warm up, but if you wanna go foam roll, go for it. So once you've got your props, we're just gonna start standing, feet stacked right underneath your hips. Go ahead, tuck your tailbone under, a little squeeze of the glutes. Engage through your core. And then shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and then drop them down your back. So keep it nice and tight today here to start. We're just working through our rotator cuff, finding a full range of motion here. Kind of getting out all these little pops, those cracks as you move through your shoulders. You can keep it really small, or you can start to work a little bit wider, bigger, letting your arms roll up, opening, and then humming forwards. Finding whatever movement feels good here. Maybe that's a swing side to side instead. If you're sticking with me and doing those shoulder rolls, go ahead and swap directions. And then start to tighten it up a little bit, so maybe take the arms out of it and just start to roll those shoulders, just like we started. And then come through center, drop those shoulders down your back, spread through your chest. Take a big inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. And then exhale, we're gonna forward fold, send the hips back, send your chest forwards. Find your forward folds here. And we're gonna hang out here for a second to start us off. So you can find stillness here, or you can start to pedal out through those knees, your feet. Starting to prep your body for some movement here. Maybe shake your head yes, and shake it no. And then slowly, once you've found enough movement, if you want to continue, keep going for it, or you can start to find center, coming back to that stillness. Take a big inhale, halfway lift, hands roll up your shins, engage through your core as you lift up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, round all the way to a stand, vertebrae by vertebrae, hands sweep up overhead. We're gonna do the same thing, but find a little bit more movement. Big inhale at the top, and then exhale, find your fold again, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold on down. Inhale, you find your rounding as you stand, hands sweep overhead. Two more like this, inhale, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, round to stand. We just got one more like this. Inhale, lifts, maybe a little back bend at the top here. And then exhale, find your last forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, final time. Exhale, fold, and then inhale, round all the way up to a stand. Hands meet up overhead, palms kiss together. And then we're just gonna take a side body bend. So send your hands over towards the right and bump your hips off over towards the left. Get a little opening through your left rib cage here, your left side body. You can do your hands however you like. I'm gonna press them together, keep a little tension through my palms, but you can hold them, you can hold your left wrist, whatever feels good. Then take a big inhale back through center. We're gonna find a little mini back bend, cactus your elbows, send your heart forwards. And then inhale, lift those hands back overhead. Send your hips over towards the right this time. Hands come over towards the left. Finding an opening through your right side. Might feel good to kind of shake your head up and down. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, you come up, cactus those elbows, find your back bend here. And then come back through center. We're gonna open those feet up nice and wide. Gonna start with a little bit of a squat. We're gonna take our hands onto our thighs. Inhale as you lower, and then exhale, lift. Just find a little movement through our lower body here. Trying to find some even weight through your feet. So you've got a little tripod, you've got your pinky toe, your big toe, and your heel. You're trying to put weight evenly into all three parts of that foot. We just got two more like this, then we're gonna add our arms. So as you lower, you're gonna row, and as you lift, you're gonna open to a T. So inhale, row, and lift, exhale, open. Little squeeze of the shoulder blades as you open up into that T shape. And you can always stay here, or you can join me, and we're gonna start to move our lower body a little bit more. We're gonna find a slide. We're gonna go to the left first. So on your next inhale, lower. On your next exhale, I want you to lift, slide your right toes in towards your left, and then you return to that squat. Exhale, slide your left toes over towards your right. You're just going back and forth. You're just sliding back and forth. Doesn't matter if you go left or right with me. Knowing you can always stay through center. You don't have to add this little slide in. This is to wake up your inner thighs a little bit. The more you drag your toes on the ground, the more you're gonna feel them light up. We're gonna change those arms for our last 5. Next time you exhale, you're gonna lift over your head and then send them behind you. Lift and sweep back. It's almost like you're making an A shape and a Y shape with your hands. Just one more. And then come on out of it. We're gonna spread our feet wide. We're gonna sink our hips down. Let's give ourselves a couple shoulder drops here, a little rotation in the spine. Just dipping your shoulder left and right. Whew. Got a little crack there. And then when you feel ready, go ahead, find some stillness through center. You're gonna lift all the way up. Make sure your toes are turned out, so it's like 10 and 2 on a clock. We're gonna lunge a little bit side to side. So bend into your right leg, find a little bit of a side lunge here, and then you're coming back up through center. Send your left leg forwards this time. Left knee bends over the middle of your left toes, and we come up. You're just back and forth. We're starting with our hands on our thighs. You do not have to bend really deep into this. It can be a super tiny bend if that's what feels good in your body today. Or you can try to go super, super low. Just trying to warm up the outer hips here. You can keep your hands like this, or you can just kind of do a little figure 8 motion with them. We're not here for long, so find whatever movement works for you. Really make sure you're setting your hips back, trying to keep a nice broad chest. We just got one more each side. Last one, and done. Go ahead, grab your weights. grab your heavy set. So grab the heavy one, whichever one you've got, and we're gonna meet back for a deadlift. As always, if you don't have a flat weight like mine, where it can just kind of stay when you put it on the ground, go ahead and find a book or a pillow to prop it up on so you can get a little more height. You don't have to squat quite as low. You're gonna set this bad boy right on the ground. Change that angle for you a little bit there. So deadlift, we'll go over it and then we're just gonna do it. You got that hinge in your hips. So we're gonna come kind of wide so our feet are in line with this weight. I want you to hinge in your hips, so send your hips back, find a stretch through the back of your legs, and then sink your hips down. Grab that weight, however feels best for you, and then I just want you to stand. All right? So, find that hinge, sink your hips down, grab the weight, and lift. And then we lower, and we lift. So we're gonna keep it nice and fluid today. We're not gonna reset it through each one. If you would prefer to do that, go for it. Just means you're gonna get a few less reps. If you wanna kind of reset, find that hinge, find that squat, and then lift it. But we're just going nice and fluid, holding on to that weight the whole time, keeping a really broad chest, show you from the side. We're shoulder blades peeled back, lift, and lower. So don't do what I'm doing. I'm kind of looking over at the side so I can see you in the camera. Keep your chin tucked and keep your vision on a point a couple feet in front of you on the ground. That's just gonna make sure your neck's in line with the rest of your spine. We get a few more here. Last 3. Final 2. And 1. Go ahead. Ditch that weight as you lift on up. Whew. We're gonna take a row. We're gonna do single arm supported. So you can keep that same heavy weight and find either like a bench, a counter, a windowsill to do your supported row on. We're gonna start with the left arm this time. So go ahead, grab a relatively heavy weight, place your right hand on whatever thing you're gonna use to stabilize yourself. Send your left leg back, bend into your right leg, so you're almost in a little lunge position here. Let this weight in your left hand kind of pull you forward, so let that shoulder blade round, and then set it back. So you see that? We round it and then set it. This is where we want to keep it now. Big exhale, you're gonna lift, row through that left arm, bring it towards your left hip, left pocket, and then let it down. Here we go. We're just rowing, using our exhales to pull our elbow back by our left hip. Make sure that core is nice and engaged here. Even though you've got support, never lose that integrity through your core. We're almost there, last 2. And let it down. You can find nice evenness through your feet. You're gonna use that support. Send those hips back like you're hinging and just let this left arm hang. You can stir the pot a little bit so you can drop that weight, or you can hold on to it if you want a little extra traction down towards the ground. But just let that arm hang. Stir the pot one way and then swap directions. We're going to take it here, just a little twist. So big inhale, bend into your right leg as you open up through your left arm, left side body. You still got your hand on that support, so you should feel a nice little pull through your right armpit as well. And then let it back down, just 2 more like that. Find that twist, and lower. Last one, and return. We're gonna do a row on the other side, so grab that same weight, swap whatever hand you've got on that counter, windowsill, and we're gonna take it. So I'm gonna have it on the wall now so you can see me, but ideally you've got a flat surface in front of you and kind of shoulder height. So take that left leg in front, right leg goes back this time, find your little lunge position, hinge forward, so we've got engagement through the core, nice long straight spine. Do the same thing on this side, let that shoulder blade come forwards, and then set it back. All right, we're ready to row. Big exhale, row that weight back by your right hip, and let it down. We got 4 more. Last one. And let that weight down. Go ahead, return your feet to stand next to each other. Find that little hinge, and then start to stir the pot. Going one way, and then reversing your circle here. If you took those twists on the other side, go for it. Bend that left leg this time. Send your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then come back. Last 2 like that. Final one. And done. Go ahead, round on up. You're gonna ditch the weights. You're gonna grab your core ball, and then you're gonna meet me back here. So we're gonna stand nice and upright. Take this core ball, it's gonna just be a little prop here, so we get a little bit of feedback. We're gonna do something called a steam engine. So take this core ball, both hands right out in front of you, a little bit of balance here. So big exhale, you're gonna lift your left leg, tabletop, and send this core ball over towards the left side of your body. Inhale, lower, we go to the right side. Exhale, we lift. So we're just going back and forth. We're trying to engage our obliques here. So you can do any position with the core ball, in all honesty. You can take it in one hand, you can go back over to the left, over to the right, just swapping sides. I like to do both hands in center because I can squeeze that ball a little bit. So I feel my arms working a little bit more. It's totally up to you. We're more worried about lifting that knee, finding a little bit of balance, and finding a contraction through your core, your obliques. So every time you lift your knee, you're getting a big exhale, and that's going to fully engage your core. We're almost there. We've got 2 more each side. Last one to the left, and last one to the right. Go ahead, drop that ball. Shake your hands out a little bit. We're moving, we're grooving. We're grabbing those lighter weights, so grab your set, and we're gonna do some shoulder raises. Then we're gonna head down to the ground, and it's gonna feel really good. So roll those shoulders down your back, puff your chest slightly, a little bend in your elbows. And then big exhale, you're gonna lift those weights up. So we're not going out to the side, like straight out to the side. They're gonna be a little bit in front of you, like 45-degree angle in front of you. Every exhale, you lift, bring them to shoulder height. There is no need to go higher than that. For whatever reason this isn't feeling good, you can always play around with the angles. So you can always go out to the side like that T motion. We already warmed up with that, so it might already be a little tired. We're not here for too much longer. We've got about 5 more. I say that's not too much longer, but that can be a lot. But I've been talking and now I only have 2 more. You got 1 more. And let it go. Ditch those weights over to the side. We're gonna come back to them. But first we're gonna head all the way down to the mat. So bring your ball with you. We're gonna use that first. If you'd like, you can use a weight instead of the ball. I'm gonna go ahead and use the ball because my hamstrings are really sore. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can do the same exact motion, just with the weight right here instead of the ball. So we're gonna take this ball, or weight, put it right in your left knee, so right behind your left knee. You're gonna find an all-fours position. It can be on your hands, or it can be on your forearms, whatever feels best. So find that all-fours position. Draw that belly button up towards your spine so you've got really nice engaged through your core. And then take a big inhale. Extend this left leg up behind you. You're doing a little donkey kick here. So squeeze that ball, engage through your hamstring. Little pause at the top, and then lower it back down. We lift it back up. It's like you're stamping your foot on top of the ceiling. And then we lower it back down. So you can see why you could do this with a weight. It's gonna add a little bit more tension here. A little less in the hamstring, will probably be a little bit more in the glute. So you choose your adventure today, whether you want that hamstring to fire up a little bit more or your glute to fire up. That means you're just gonna change the prop accordingly. We got 4 more here. Really don't skip that pause at the top. That's where we're getting a lot of muscle engagement. Last 2. Final 1. We're gonna pause at the top. Hold here. Tiny little pulses, just 10. Last 7. 4, 3, 2, and bring it on down. You can crawl your hands out, send your hips back. Find a child's pose. You can place your hands on top of the ball, or you can just place them on the mat, whatever feels best. Find a brief pause here. Might feel good to lift up onto your fingertips and kind of tent and claw the mat with your fingers. Maybe you find a little sway side to side in your child's pose. Let this be a nice reset before we head to the other side. And when you're ready, you can slowly return to that tabletop. We're going to take it to the other side. So place that weight or the ball right behind your right knee this time. Sandwich it in there. Find that tabletop position again, whether it's on hands or forearms. And when you're ready, big exhale, send that right leg up, pause at the top, and then send it back down. So this side might feel totally different. It's A-okay. Just notice it. Maybe you modify. Really don't want to feel this in your lower back. So if for whatever reason you're feeling it in your lower back, just don't lift your leg quite as high. And really think about using your right glute here. We just got 2 more. Last one, you're gonna hold at the top, little pulses. We're not here for long, we've just got 6 more left. That's 4, 3, 2, and bring it on down. Instead of finding that child's pose, this time we're just gonna sit onto our butt here, send the legs forwards. We're gonna do a little windshield wiper, just back and forth, side to side. We're coming down fully to our backs now. So bring your set of kind of lighter weights with you. Then I'll meet you there. So, lay all the way down, nice flat back. Go ahead, grab your lighter weights. And take them up and over your chest. I'm gonna have to move off here, so you need some room to kind of open your arms wide. So, flat back. Weights are up over your chest. And you're just gonna open them nice and wide to a goalpost. Find a little chest press here. Big exhale as you press those weights up over your chest. Inhale as you lower, open to that goalpost. And exhale, you lift. Just keep on breathing here, using those exhales to lift those weights. We just got 2 more. Ditch those weights, set them to the side. Go ahead, hug your knees up in towards your chest. We're gonna finish with a little bit of core here. So give yourself a little rock and roll on your low back. Let everything kind of reset. And we're finishing with our marches. So you don't need any props for this next move, just yourself. Hug those knees in, and then bring them to a tabletop. Hands can go by your sides. They can rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, or you can take them up and over, hands towards the ceiling. Whatever you want, you can play around with it. You're gonna do a big inhale, draw your belly button down towards the ground, engage all the way through your core, pelvic floor, lift, and then on your exhale, you're gonna lower your left toes towards the ground. So you can lower left toes, little point, or you can lower your heel. We're gonna alternate. So on your next exhale, you're gonna tap your right foot to the ground, side to side. Toes, heels, totally plant your foot, it's up to you. Play around with it. The slower you go, the more you're gonna feel that core engaging, the more time under tension you're gonna have, so that means your muscles are working harder. Biggest thing here though, is to keep your back nice and flat to the ground. So if you start to feel yourself peeling up, go ahead, just squeeze those knees back into your chest, give yourself a little bit of a reset, and then come back to it when you're ready. That's kind of the nice thing about having a video, is you can always pause it, do what you gotta do, you can rewind it, you can play over the parts you like, you can skip the parts you didn't like, and just make your own workout out of it. You might start to feel a little shake through your core. We're almost there. We've got 1 more each side and you're done. Last one here. Go ahead, plant your feet back on the ground, give yourself a little windshield wiper side to side with your knees. Whew, you made it. Do whatever stretches you need to kind of cool yourself off. And I'll see you in the next one. Awesome job. Bye.